Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I have not done my transfers yet in terms of my wild card because I've just been holding price rises and falls, but it is now time to sort of lock in my draft. And the only question in my mind now is Mbumo versus Diaby. And there's going to be a huge punt, I think, because I still think that Diaby's fitness is so poor and so touch and go that I don't think he'll play enough minutes to really guarantee these next two game weeks being really good for him. The question, of course, is it worth it to sort of, understand that Mbumo has a bad fixture versus United, know that Diaby has an even better fixture in Game Week 10, and just sort of say, hey, I'm happy with going Diaby? Because my bench will be very weak this week, but going forwards, it won't be weak. And that's the main thing I want to say. But I hope you guys are all doing well. And first of all, Henry as well, thank you so much for being a member for 19 months. Who'd I play center back next to? I mean, so what? Nacho is suspended, isn't he? Honestly, maybe I could play center back. We could call Jesus Vallejo back, right? We don't have any options. I think we might have to play a young kid, to be honest. We'll see what happens. Yeah. What's happening with Diaby? So he trained yesterday, but I don't think we know that Diaby will play. And this is not my draft. This is not my draft. Sonor Haaland captain. I think I'm going Salah captain, actually. I've got no interest in Darwin because I'm pretty sure Liverpool always manage players in Game Week 9, just because of international break and things like that. Just look into Luis Diaz, for example. If you think he's interesting as a pick, look at Luis Diaz's minutes right after he came back from Colombian international duty. Look at Darwin's minutes when he came back from international duty last time. Very, very poor. All right, so let's lock in our transfers. Number one. I made a mistake on the wild card. I actually thought I'd be going Trippier less, so I made a mistake in terms of value, so I will be going Trippier. Let's lock in the draft though. I think I will still be going Lamptey. I'm gonna have to say goodbye to Mr. Madison. I might keep Mbumo. I'm going for this guy. And then we're going for Archer. And now the last question that I have in my mind is, do I go Diaby or not? FPL Raptors going without Haaland. I think that's totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going Haalandless. I think it makes sense if you have a 5.6 midfielder that you actually like to go with Haaland. If you don't have a 5.6, 5.8 midfielder that you like, then don't go Haaland. I think it's very simple, actually. Because what is the issue, right? The issue is now, initially we thought that Eze could play. So he would have been fantastic. We also thought Diaby would have been fit. So he would have been fantastic. Now you don't have anyone in these positions, right? In these prices that actually would have fit Haaland in your team. Obviously, what you can do is simple solutions, right? Is you can just go from, you could always have created like a draft without Trippier, but I've decided to go Trippier because I'm pretty rich, not gonna lie. But also Trippier is, for example, the difference between Madison is me. So Richarlison over Madison is why I've gone for Trippier instead. And I really, really like Trippier in my draft because previously I would have had to go for someone like Diogo Dalot just so I can actually have someone who has good fixtures on game weeks 8 and 9 respectively. But the difference now is that now that I have Trippier in my team, I can actually do whatever I want and play around with that. The interesting thing on Lamptey's run in the first team as well is if you listen to De Zerbi's discussion about how Lamptey was their best player in Europe, you also have to think about the fact that Lamptey is a right-footed player, so he could actually conceivably maybe take away minutes in the future from maybe Veltman. I think that's a bit of a reach, but it is possible. And also, yeah, if he is, for example, the most informed quote-unquote player versus Brighton, at least you should be able to hopefully tap into game weeks 10 and 11, which I think is quite interesting, right? Because previously, if I went for Taylor, like it's nice and lovely having Taylor and all, but if you look at Taylor, his best fixtures are also game weeks 10 and 11, and then obviously 14 as well, fair enough. But I just don't see it as a huge issue, really, like owning Lamptey versus Taylor, because they're sort of dead picks. And actually, the nice thing I think is just owning Archer, to be honest. What is my estimated timeline? I think, I mean, but in reality, just because we know that Stupian is only out for 1 month, can I explain the whole Gordon situation? Should I lock in my transfers now? I mean, I think this is going to be my team, guys. I think this is going to be my team. I'm going to lock it in. Let me quickly check if there's any news, last second news before I lock this team in. Need to have a serious thought about it. How do you plan on moving to? So I'm actually not going to go Saka Odegaard. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go triple Arsenal. So I will go probably Zinchenko, and I will go also Saka. So the idea is if you, let's say, swap around Trippier and Richarlison. So if I drop Trippier to, let's say, Zinchenko, then I have enough money in the bank, as you can see. I can go into Saka like so. So the whole idea is I give Trippier that Crystal Palace game, which is basically another like premium fixture, I would say. And then after that, I don't really mind dropping Trippier. I mean, obviously I would lose, Bournemouth and I'd lose Wolves, but the run is a touch worse. And I don't really want to play Trippier versus Arsenal. I don't really want to own Trippier versus Arsenal either. So yeah, it's pretty much what I would do. My opinion, Darwin or Alvarez. I think Alvarez is slightly better if you own Alvarez at a cheaper price. I just think Darwin's definitely going to run the risk of international minutes. And then also Gakpo is actually fine. Gakpo is no longer walking around with a brace, and he's expected to come back soon. The difference with Alvarez is, I would say Alvarez's position in the team is much more locked and stable than Darwin. So you're playing a minutes gamble every week. Why not Gabriel to burn? Because I just don't. Why would I want to own double Newcastle defense for the time being? Darwin might not even go on international duty. I mean, we have no confirmation of that, though. No, how can we say that? You have to sort of just assume that he does, because there's nothing has been posted so far about how Darwin has not been taken to national duty. Keep in mind, of course, that players like Cavani and Suarez are not really around the team anymore. Why did I remove Richarlison? No, I didn't remove Richarlison. I'm just showing you guys what would happen if I went out of Trippier. So that's my plan towards Saka basically, and I'm pretty happy to do it. Thoughts on Neto versus Mbumo? Is 3-4-3 good? I actually don't like 3-4-3 because the key thing here, right, is I still have, like, for example, Mitoma, Diaby are all interesting game week 10. James Ward-Prowse, Bowen are all interesting game week 10. So by that time, we sort of need to think about all these players. Guehi, Burn, or Anderson on a wild card. I mean, I don't really care about Anderson, so I would probably just go Guehi or Burn and probably ask yourself that question. Thoughts on Luis Diaz? Yeah, I mean, I know Lamptey won't play but Lamptey just played 97 minutes of football in Europe. It's not the case that he's not fit, so to speak. It's the case that he's not fit for this fixture, right? But he's going to continue to play himself into match fitness. And actually, for example, a lot of these players are playing way too many minutes of football, so all these Brighton players will be rotating nonstop. What are the advantages of a late wild card? I think it's just the ability to manage game week 18 and 19 well, right? 18, 19, and 20, specifically double game week 20, which is what we expect. Is Diaby out? I think he's out. I mean, I mean, he could be, he may or may not be. I can't confirm that. Also, if you guys are all new in the chat, love you guys being around. I will see you guys. And if you guys could be lovely, sorry, and actually like and subscribe, that would make my day. Thoughts on Luis Diaz? Yeah, I've already sort of explained it. As I said, I think actually the Colombian fixture is not too bad. Like, so he plays obviously Wednesday, but the turnaround is tough, right? And this is why I actually wanted to go Richarlison, because obviously you can use the same excuse back on me. But look, Liverpool are the early fixture on the 21st, which means that obviously players like Darwin and players like Luis Diaz are going to be under even more stress. Whereas someone from, let's say, owning the Monday game, the Spurs players, Richarlison is actually going to get 2 extra days of rest. Not even 2 extra days of rest, basically 2.5 days of rest. So I quite like Richarlison. And then also the only person competing with Richarlison's minutes for this two game week punt that I'm going for with Richarlison is actually just going to be Brennan Johnson. Now, obviously, Brian Hill has also done quite well in training, and I know there's Velith as well who can actually play center forward. But let's be honest, like if Richarlison has a good game versus Luton, which is quite likely because it's Luton, he's probably going to stay in the team at least to be a starter for, like, let's say 65 minutes versus Fulham at home, which I think is already a good enough punt. Nice to see you around, FPL Diamond. Who am I captaining this week? I'm going to be captaining Salah, but I'm not locking in my transfers. Why Porro and not Van de Ven? Because Porro actually is an attacking fullback and Van de Ven is just a center back. Dimitri, thank you so much for the donation, first of all. I hope you're doing well. Estupiñán for cash or Porro for a hit? I would go for Porro, right? You've got Son. Oh, actually, you've got Udogie as well. You have Son and Udogie, Watkins and Diaby will seem to score every game. That's not sure. I think I agree 100%. Porro for the next two fixtures is so much better. And then actually by game week 10, maybe you can bring cash in later. So you can bring in cash on game week 10, but then Porro I think is much better for the next 2 weeks, because if you look at the clean sheet odds for the next 2 weeks, it's so much better for Spurs than compared to this Aston Villa team. Now, everyone is wildcarding into cash simply because he's got really, really good fixtures, right? No bad fixtures. But obviously, Pedro Porro, as I said, he will have slightly tougher fixtures. It's not too bad, though. From a clean sheet point of view, Crystal Palace is actually a really good fixture. Chelsea really depends on how you think. Do you think, for example, have they changed, taken a step forwards with Mudryk and Palmer, and even, let's say, maybe Jackson, who's finally scored it within the EFL Cup? But look, the fixtures are still very good. And then obviously Wolves away, which is the cash fixture, is in Game Week 12. So I would say cash is fantastic on Game Week 10. You can actually wait for him then. And I'm sort of thinking about that too in terms of Diaby as well. I kind of want to punt Diaby over Mbumo. Salah over Son. I just think that Son's minutes, he is sort of dealing with an injury. Not really disclosed exactly what the injury is, but he has been sort of hooked off early. So I'm thinking maybe 88 minutes of Salah versus, 78 minutes of Son. I actually think Salah is better. That's all my consideration is. And also this Brighton team are pretty horrific when it comes to defense. Any injury news on Diaby? No, we know that he trained, but that's all we know. Keep in mind that Leon Bailey played 90 plus minutes of football on the other match, and they don't really have too much depth. But I think Diaby might be risked. The question, of course, as I said, is minutes for Diaby and other things like that. Kyrie Irving here. How is it playing with Luka Doncic? No, I'm kidding. I've seen you around the DMs. My final thoughts on Diaby is he's going to be my final transfer. Logic behind keeping Mbumo. No one else I like in the position right now. Everyone has two bad fixtures except for Diaby, and I don't know if Diaby's fit is basically the consideration. And also, Mbumo still has Burnley at home, which is really nice. Is Watkins essential? I don't think Watkins is essential, no. I think Alvarez cannot cover him over this fixture run. Keep in mind, I used to own Alvarez at 6.8, so I had a very good reason to keep Alvarez. But I think the reality is, on a Haaland draft, I don't really want to go double Man City forwards in a tough fixture run. I think I'd only just own one. And then actually the question is, if you sacrifice that 1.2 million or that 1 million to go into Watkins, what happens to your draft? So you need to sort of ask yourself that question. I personally think that with going Watkins, I can still create a very good team, which is what is the case here, obviously. But yeah, I don't really know. Højlund over what? I think Højlund is actually really good as a pick as well. Højlund, Alvarez, Watkins are all great. And if you can't afford any of these players, then just go for Solanke. I would not say Solanke covers Watkins. I think that's a little bit of crazy talk. The thing about Watkins too is he actually lasts a really long time, whereas Solanke just has 3 good fixtures. Why choose Gabriel? Because I'm not going to be playing Gabriel until Game Week 10. Why Gabriel over someone like Anderson or Guehi? I mean, so the way I see it is, let's say I go Gabriel, or let's say I go Guehi. I don't have a really strong team for Game Week 10, right? So on Game Week 10, I mean, I guess I could play... I wouldn't be playing Trippier because he's my transfer out. I would have Porro, who's okay. I'd have a mirror matchup there, which is not very nice. I'd probably have to play Cash as well, obviously, because he's the king in that week. And the fixture isn't perfect because I just don't really want to play him versus Spurs. And in that week, I'm also probably going to make another transfer in terms of, as I said, going for maybe someone like Zinchenko. So Yeah, I'm not too interested. I mean, I might rather actually go Colwill if I had to sort of remake this decision. But I really like double Arsenal defense going forwards because I'm not going Odegaard. And then I could play, obviously, all these fixtures here with double Arsenal defense, which is not too bad. Sheffield United at home, Burnley at home, Brentford away, Wolves at home, Luton away. These are fixtures probably where I mean, one thing that I might think of as well is if I go off of Gabriel, I suppose I could also go. I could go back into an Arsenal defender on 10, and then I actually could save a bit of money, and then maybe also just play. And actually, I could transfer Martinelli at one point as well. That's one thing that's in my mind. Why Trippier over Alvarez? I just think that Archer is really good depth. That's all. And I probably have to play Archer this week as well. God, so many questions in the chat. Let's quickly go through them. Thoughts on Areola Turner plus Udogi, or I don't really like Areola plus Neto, honestly. I mean, I've got not too much faith in this Bournemouth team whatsoever. I know Areola versus Neto is sort of like an encouraging pair, but I would much rather save money in the keeper position than in the outfield position. And Mbumo's still in here. Yeah, I just couldn't really pick anyone else because I don't think Diaby is that fit. Luis Diaz or Bowen on a wild card? I'd probably go Bowen. I'm probably going to captain Salah. What's your plan for getting Saka or I'm not going to get Bowen on Game Week 10. I will be definitely getting Saka on Game Week 10. The plan is to go Richarlison out and Trippier out as well, and then just do a double transfer there. That's basically the plan. I'm just going to quickly check if there's any sort of like last minute news on someone like Diaby, because just want to check. I'm pretty tempted to actually go Colwill, if I'm honest. If I am honest. Why wouldn't you get James Ward-Prowse? I mean, James Ward, I'm just waiting for Burnley. And also, James Ward-Prowse is two pretty tough fixtures next back-to-back. And as far as Neto versus Gordon, I think Gordon is way clear of Neto going forwards. Way clear. And also, I mean, what's the reason for not going back into Chelsea? They have so many clean sheets. Like look at this guy. He's got 3 clean sheets already. Obviously, easy fixtures. But the thing is, if you look at Chelsea, this wildcard has to last us until Game Week 20. So look until Game Week 20, right? So, okay, fine. I can actually play Cole versus Brentford at home. So just don't look at the colors. You can definitely play Cole versus Brentford at home. And then I will definitely play him versus Burnley. And then I'll bench him for maybe 5 fixtures in a row. But then actually, I still need defenders for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So if Colwill is my, quote-unquote 5th defender, I don't really mind holding him for that run. Because Lamptey, in theory, as well, will cover potentially 11 and 10, which is nice. And then obviously Zinchenko, as I said, will also cover, for example, effectively 12 to 15. So it's not really an issue. And then I won't own Trippier then, but this position obviously would just be Colwill. But I'm just, talking about Zinchenko. Porro is an interesting one too, because the fixtures aren't particularly bad. Like, if you think about it, I could play Porro most of these fixtures outside of the Man City game. And then Cash himself, same sort of logic there, where, look, actually really good fixtures up until 15. So you can see that when Colwill comes back into the team as that defender around 15, he's actually quite useful long term. 2 players to start, Watkins, Haaland, Alvarez, Walker. I mean, just play Watkins and Haaland. I think it's very simple. I'm going to have to put you on a timeout, though. Sorry. Let's not spam the chat. My captain, Salah. Play Diaby now or Shar. Is Diaby too risky? I think Diaby is a bit risky. To the planet, I actually think I'll make you a moderator, to be honest, because I think you're always on the... make you a standard moderator. I think Henry as well should also be a moderator on the chat. Why Gabriel over Burn? I'm just not going to play Burn in that many fixtures, right? So... I don't want to play Burn. There's only one fixture I would play Burn in, which is Crystal Palace at home. And then actually Wolves away, it's okay. It's okay. Probably rather play Gabriel there, to be honest. And then Bournemouth away is okay as well. That's a good fixture. And then after that, it's like Everton. And then it's kind of like random games. Around 17 is when you actually want to go probably Newcastle again. But then, 20, 21 around the corner is pretty tough. Best Arsenal defender ignoring price. I think it's Ben White, to be honest. It's actually Ben White. I do think it's Ben White, and I think it's pretty clear. But the thing is, Ben White is very, very expensive. He is very, very expensive. Should I start triple? I think you should definitely go triple Spurs. Yeah. If you can go double, like triple Spurs, it's probably the best way to play. Play Diaby instead of Shar. Definitely do that. This is my team selection for now. Why Poro over Udogi? Just attacking upside. Attacking upside. Trippier or Watkins? I would go Watkins. Just a better fixture on overall. What do you think of Semenyo replacing Archer? What do you mean? Like just saving money? Because Semenyo's for... I mean, why don't you just go for Mubama? Because like Semenyo, I've got no interest in him. Sorry. I just think his minutes are a little bit dicey. Compared to, let's say, I don't know, Archer, who's like what, competing minutes with sometimes like someone like Ryan Brewster, who's also pretty pathetic, unfortunately. Yeah, Semenyo's minutes aren't great. Obviously, look, as I said, Archer's minutes could get bad, but for now, we don't know that's the case. Obviously, he's been taken off at 74 minutes, but yeah, I think we have more confidence over Archer. Eden says, hey, Fran, was thinking about doing Sterling to Luis Diaz next week. Yeah, I think some people actually believe Sterling won't start, but also keep in mind that some people actually think that Mudryk and Palmer would definitely start versus Sterling. I'm not so certain about that, to be honest. I think Sterling can start on both flanks. My captain is Salah. Is Rashford going to be sidelined? I don't think so. I think that's... I know he's been out of form, quote unquote, but I think it's too big of a call from Ten Hag to actually bench Rashford. I think it's like, unless, for example, he drives late into the game. Chisel Plant, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Be interested to see actually who that falls for. What formation am I playing? This week I'm playing 4-4-2. Kanan, you've actually got the membership. Congrats. And once again, thank you to you, Chisel Planet. What formation am I playing? You know what formation I'm playing. It's 4-4-2 because I'm going for Gordon. I just think Gordon is long-term better than Neto is pretty much my thoughts on this matter. So that's why I've done this move. And look, I'm happy with the move. Happy with the move overall. Excuse me. Like, one reason why I didn't want to go for Douglas Luiz is because I do still really like Diaby, right? So that was something also in my consideration, basically. Like, Diaby is a lovely pick, 100%. I'm not even going to deny that. And so are players like Bowen, but they're sort of out of reach. And I think Richarlison's like a fantastic punt as well for the next 2 weeks. So that's also why I'm going for Mr. Richie over here as well. And then, yeah, as I said, like competing, for example, like I think Maddison obviously is great. Like Maddison, if you think you're going to hold him long term, that's fantastic. But you also have to think that when you're holding someone like Maddison, he's probably going to be your transfer out for Saka. So the way I see it is, no matter who I'm going for this Richarlison / Maddison position, is that they're always going to go for Saka, right? They're always going to be my transfer out to go into Saka. So why not just go with Richarlison for 2 weeks, punt on 2 fixtures? That should be very easy on paper for Richarlison. Like it would be a tough situation for me to sort of see him get immediately benched in the next game. Just seeing as, for example, Brennan Johnson doesn't have match fitness himself. So on that basis, I actually quite like the pick. And so, yeah, I mean, that's really it for me. As I said, going back to the Arsenal thing, it's sort of Saliba and White. I might also want to sort of leave room for Martinelli as well, but I'm not sure, obviously, because his injury situation is a little bit odd, right? Because we have sort of mentioned that he's been in training for a while now, but I know it's obviously probably re-aggravated as well, which is not the best situation for him, unfortunately. I'm just quickly looking for news, if possible, just to see if we can get anything on Diaby, really. Steven says, morning, taking -4 to bring in Alvarez +1, -7.8 mid. I think Richarlison's the best punt. Why does no one talk about Kulusevski? His underlying stats are the worst out of all Spurs midfielders, like by far. It's not even close. So I think, first of all, like, yes, he's a good player in terms of the system, and obviously Angie likes playing him, but in terms of FPL picks, like, he's a differential, yes, of course, very low ownership, but I think also very low ownership for a reason. Like, I would much rather go, like, think about the goal scoring odds this week. Richarlison has like 39% goal scoring odds, whereas Kulusevski's not even, not even in the 20s, I believe. Maybe in the low 20s, actually, is what he is on. Madison himself is on 26, but that Madison's creative as well. So his, for example, assist odds are very high, right? Compared to, let's say, Kulusevski as well. So I think Kulusevski is, for example, that odd one out. Like, I would seriously consider between Richarlison and Madison in that position, as I said, because it's almost like a placeholder for Saka. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Why Gordon? I really prefer Gordon, to be honest. I prefer Gordon to Neto. I think Gordon has been fantastic this year. Barnes is injured, which is really nice. If you look at the expected goal involvement for Gordon, it's been really, really good as well so far. So yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. I think Gordon's been playing brilliantly. Son for Sterling. Yeah, Son for Sterling is a fantastic transfer. I would definitely do that. Diaby's playing. And what's your source for that? I need Diaby news so badly. So badly. Please just give me Diaby news. It would actually make my whole week. Alrighty. So first thing I'm gonna do is, as I said, quickly lock in players. I haven't made my transfers yet. There's obviously 33 minutes, but this is going to be the team, as I said, and Mbeumo versus Diaby, the last decision for me. I'm pretty happy with the team as it is. Maybe Gabriel can be moved out. Could be moved out, obviously. We'll see what happens there too. It could be nice, for example, for me to actually go into Zinchenko instead. That could be an option as well. What's the plan with Mbeumo? Future transfer out for sure. Future transfer out for sure. You feel like Watkins will ghost? I mean, if a player for Aston Villa who is starting every single fixture is going to ghost versus Wolves away, West Ham at home, Luton at home, Nottingham Forest away, Fulham at home, then honestly, I will say that I would have just gotten unlucky. Because if you're ghosting these fixtures, let's be serious. I think this was missed. Should I sell Jackson? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. Adam Lynch. You could get Solanke, Winnie, or Darwin. You only have Mitoma on the bench and plan to wildcard game week 10. Oh, so we're talking 1 week punt. I would actually probably go Solanke. Oh, could you go Højlund? I would go Højlund. Højlund for sure. I would go Højlund because Højlund, really good fixtures, 8 and 9 basically. I think Kulusevski's the worst Spurs midfielder to pick, in my opinion. Underlying stats the worst, and he's not cheaper than Richarlison. So yeah. Thoughts on Solanke? I think he's good to replace Edouard. Yeah, but for a -4, I'm not sure about that. My thoughts on Cash, Udogi, Burn, Guehi. I mean, that's very good. A lot of people are actually going with that defense. It's very strong. You can't go Højlund. Oh, you got Onana, Dallo, and Bruno. Okay, that's tough. I would probably go Solanke in that situation. Because you're just looking at a 2-game week angle. It's probably the most reasonable play. I probably wouldn't get upset about, let's say, playing Solanke. It is what it is, right? I just wouldn't worry about it. I'm still so bummed that Eze is injured. Like, that has completely ruined all my plans to an immeasurably sad degree. Porro or Udogi? I would go Porro if you can afford it, but obviously there's nothing wrong with going Udogi. Should I risk Diaby or go Alvarez? I would prefer Alvarez to Diaby, honestly. What do you think of Kulusevski? I've answered that question. Come on. Højlund is UCL. I think Højlund's fantastic, but obviously if you can't go Højlund, you can't do it. Is it silly to go Archer starting over Mbeumo this week? I think it's silly because I'm not sure Archer's on penalties. And also Man United, unfortunately not the best defense. Unfortunately. Who are you starting for defenders? I'm actually going to start Archer this week. Thoughts on Mudryk? The fixtures are so bad for Chelsea, though. That's the issue. There was no Diaby news, sadly. There's no Diaby news, which is an absolute bummer, but it is what it is. Best 4 million defender. I think Lamptey is one. Branthwaite is a starting defender as well for Everton. If you back Everton, I don't really think I would. I'd probably honestly just go with Lamptey or Taylor. I would actually save some money, get a 3.9 defender, and just call it a day. You're not going to expect much from this position. This is pure bench depth, and it is what it is. And Mbumo's run, you feel like has come to an end. I agree substantially, but also remember that he's a penalty taker. Also, I think the run truly ends at Burnley at home. Any thoughts on Virgil van Dijk? I think Virgil van Dijk is very good. I would actually probably class him as like a yellow pick on my cheat sheet if you think about that. I'm not putting ads, by the way, guys. I think it's just random from YouTube. Thoughts of a 3-4-3 Haaland less and Almiron in mid? I think 3-4-3 is nice, but then also you have to think about was Eze. I mean, I don't pick players in form. I just pick players mostly based on underlying stats and future fixtures. Because the thing is, right, like just think about Trippier. Did I pick him before he was in form, or did I pick Trippier before he was about to head into form? That's the question you probably want to ask yourself, right? I also made bad decisions, right? Like in terms of like, did I think United would do better? 100% I would. So I think it always makes sense to look at the fixture, look at the future fixtures, right? And then see players that you think could do good in them in terms of, have they shown good underlying stats in the past? Are they good to watch? Is the team sort of, were they good last season or obviously recently were they informed, that sort of thing? And then think about fixtures in the future and say, okay, is there potential to hold there? Probably yes. So go for those players, but then otherwise don't. BL says he's on the wild card. Bowen plus Neto versus James Ward-Prowse plus Diaby. I would actually probably go Bowen plus Neto if I'm honest, because personally, I don't know if Diaby's fit. I think Bowen is actually much better than James Ward-Prowse. Obviously, there's a price difference. Neto, I think, is also very consistent in terms of minutes, and you're sort of putting yourself into risk with Diaby, who might be unfit for this fixture. And also, by the time Game Week 10 comes around, I'd much rather own James Ward-Prowse versus Bowen. Sorry, I mean Bowen versus James Ward-Prowse. So it's quite nice there. Are you comfortable with Villa's defense? I don't think it should hinder Cash's minutes too much because honestly, Cash has been incredible for them. So obviously, whilst Moreno could come back into the team, I don't really think Cash's minutes will be, for example, under threat. Remember as well, what's going on is that Kamara is almost dropping like a third center back into the team, and they're both playing with two attacking fullbacks. So Moreno should only affect Dean's minutes because Dean is actually an attacking fullback. It's not the case that, Cash is playing defensive right back or something like that. Literally, both Dean and Cash are extremely offensive in the system. So I don't see how Moreno coming back into the team will actually affect anyone's minutes other than Luka Dean. And in that situation, obviously, as I said, Kamara just drops back and Kamara's fit again. Did I confirm my transfers? Not yet, but I'm pretty close. Ramp says, hey, Fran, I'm going to be able to have a wildcard team at the cost of a -4 by Game Week 10. When do you think I should use my wildcard? I mean, I'd probably wildcard on 10 then, but it really depends. Do you have more injury situations? Do you think you can wildcard on 19? That's probably the question you want to ask yourself. I would definitely play Turner. What's my captain for Game Week 8? It's going to be Salah. If you could bench Diaby till he's fit, would you? Probably not, because next week is already a fantastic fixture for Burnley at home for Brian Mbumo. So, you always want to make sure that the short term for your team is as good as possible. Neto or Gordon on the wild card? I prefer Gordon, but obviously you need to think about the fact that Gordon's obviously suspended. Is Diaby fit? I don't think he's 100% fit. Emery already confirmed that in the press conference. So even if he plays versus Wolves away, he's not going to play the full minutes. So I'm probably going to go Diaby. Sorry, I'm going to have to keep Mbumo. I don't mind. Look, honestly, I don't really mind keeping penalty takers on the team. It is what it is. What's the thought process behind Salah captain over Son? I just think that Salah's going to play more minutes this week because remember, Son is sort of still dealing with this injury situation. His minutes will probably be managed, which is something that I really don't like, unfortunately. And yeah, that's sort of the situation, isn't it? The Timonate Diaby news. There's no Diaby news. We can't pray. I mean, we can't really pray for it, can we? Like, he's playing tomorrow, not today even, which is obviously the toughest thing. Also, 300 of you guys. I'm pretty sure this is a record for me this season. Thank you guys so much for being around. If you guys could like and subscribe, that would be lovely. Obviously, I make a lot of videos week to week, specifically a cheat sheet series that I'm pretty proud of. So you can always feel free to look at that in terms of your transfer moves and stuff like that. I always look at pretty much every asset in the game, sort of consider them. Obviously, one or two players do miss out at times, but it's also a case where I think you might not want to actually look for a differential, just to get a differentials thing. As far as Saka, I think he's actually going to play because Saka has been fit. So Saka was confirmed that he was in contention. And honestly, anytime Saka's in contention, such an important fixture, I really can't see Arteta not doing, himself a disservice by putting Saka on the bench if Saka is remotely fit. We've seen Saka play in the most ridiculous of games back to back, and I think Saka will play. My hair looks great today. Thank you so much. Love the cheat sheet. Thank you, Nez. You've transferred 9 players without hitting wildcard. Yes, you you are a little screwed. And also, Fleep, thank you so much. This is your first season. Your content is by far the best. I really appreciate that. That's really, really kind. Thank you. I've actually got a late idea. A late idea. What if I go Castagne and 1 week punt? No, I don't think I can do that. Maybe I could go Colwill. I'm just trying to think whether it's viable or not, pretty much. I think there's a world where I could go Colwill. Oh, sorry, my lighting's just gone off. Apologies. Let's just fix that. Okay, that's done. Sorry about that. Let's talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. I would only go Trent Alexander-Arnold if I was going Haaland-less. If you don't go Haaland, then it's very easy to actually fit Trent in your team. Obviously, world-class player. Someone you just can't fit in a Salah Haaland draft. It is what it is. Who to get instead of Trippier? If you don't go Trippier, I think you can just go Zinchenko and players like that. Would you mind speaking on the thinking behind wildcard 19? I think, no, your first wildcard has to be used before 20. So obviously you can wildcard 19. Because if you think about it, the full season is 38 game weeks. So the cutoff point is 19. Did I make a Haalandless draft video? I made it on TikTok. I can show you my favorite Haalandless draft in a moment. But I don't think I actually have enough time, to be honest. I'm sorry about that. I just don't have enough time. Nice to see a lot of you guys. Bench 1, DCL, Mbumo, or Sterling. I'd probably bench Mbumo, honestly. Play Cole Palmer or Saka? I'd definitely play Saka. What to do with Botman? No bench cover. I mean, you probably have to make a transfer, don't you? If you guys literally don't have 3 playing defenders this week, it's always worth taking -4 because you're going to get 2 appearance points back, right? So it's actually always worth taking the punt in that situation. It's sort of the way I see that. Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of what I would think about doing. You're gonna have a Botman's in training. Yeah, Botman actually might be back, but I wouldn't transfer out Botman, but you still know that he might miss the game, right? Because it's such a tight turnaround. It's probably not worth risking him in this fixture. You're gonna have a midfield of Diaby, Salah, Madison, Son, Mitoma, no wild card. I think that's a good midfield. I would just enjoy it. I would probably not go Luis Diaz plus Mo Salah. It is what it is. Almiron, I'm already going Gordon, so I don't really want to go Almiron, but I think he's a good pick. There's nothing really wrong with Almiron whatsoever. 20 minutes to lock in my team. I don't really have time to sort of why Gordon over Neto. I think he's just a better player for a better team. Is the way I see it, to be honest. So yeah. Just give me one sec. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly check if we can get any news whatsoever on any interesting players. I don't think there are really any interesting players, unfortunately, but we'll have to sort of make do and have a look. So I believe the Spurs starting 11 is exactly the same. That's the news that I've gotten so far. That is the news that I've gotten. The Spurs starting 11 will be the same. But yeah, I can't disclose the source, but that seems to be the case. Yeah, we've seen that. Well, actually, also someone's also posted as well. Yeah, basically, we're obviously going to get Richarlison's son, Kulusevski, obviously Madison in behind, then obviously the two sort of holding mids, and then your just default back line with Porro, Udogi. So this is the great time, honestly, to bring in Spurs players, and it does seem like this is the preferred starting 11. If you want to take a punt on Richarlison, take that punt. In my opinion, that's why I'm going for it. As I said, Richarlison's just a 2 game week punt. Diaby or Watkins, I would definitely go Watkins. It's not even close for me. Like, I don't think Diaby covers Watkins. That's just my personal opinion. Start Areola or Flecken. I would go Areola just because it's a home game. Are you confident about Salah's captain? I will be captaining Salah. Any team league, Spurs will play the exact same team. Robertson or Virgil van Dijk. I'd probably go Robertson just because he's on set pieces as well. Saka will play. I think he will, but I can't confirm that. Trent or Trippier. I would probably go Trent. I wouldn't start. I wouldn't start Trent, but I would definitely start Trippier this week. Saka will play. I think he will. Saka versus Mbeumo versus Mitoma, bench one. I'd probably bench Mitoma just because he's not on penalties. Højlund or Darwin, I would definitely go Højlund. I think he's a safer pick. Start Anderson or Trippier. I would go Trippier. Best 4.5 defender. It really just depends on your situation because you could go Colwell and you can look at him as a long-term pick. You can also go for someone else as a long-term pick. It really depends on your situation. You just can't say who's the best 4.5 right now. For example, Guehi could be nice because he also kind of fills in a gap this week. Castagne is a really good 1 week punt. Who else is a good 4.5 defender? I mean, Burn, obviously, he's risen in price, but, technically 4.6. But these are all good picks. So it really just depends on your situation. What do you want to do? I can't tell you what's the best defender for your team because it also depends on what other defenders you have. For example, I'm going to go Trippier, so I don't need a defender for game week 8 and 9. So maybe your defender can actually last you a bit longer. But I also need a defender for game week 8, which is why I'm planning on Colwell right now. That's just my last second move, I think. Oof. All right, back to the live stream though. Diaz or Bowen? I'd probably go Bowen. I think he's safer. Probably doesn't have to deal with international duty and rest in game week 9. And ultimately, Bowen is probably a better long-term pick with safer minutes, and he has really, really good underlying stats. Even though this West Ham team aren't a particularly good attack, he's just been incredible. And Bowen might even start in the middle so far as I'm aware. And Bumo for Pedro Neto. I mean, you can't go for that, but keep in mind obviously that what are you going to save the money for? Why not Dean instead of Colwell? I don't want to double on Aston Villa because I want to go Diaby in the future, and I don't know if Diaby's fit. I'm doing good, Aguero. How are you doing? Neto or Bowen for game week 8? This is such a. I would go just for 1 week. Are you saying 1 week? Should I replace Trippier with Burn if I can't afford Colwell? You could do that. I think you can go Zinchenko if you're not going Trippier. That's my opinion. I might go Burn as well, to be honest. Just depends on who am I playing this week. I think I'm actually going to play Colwell. Yeah, I'm going Colwell to... I don't really want to start Archer. I don't really have the faith in Archer, if I'm honest. I don't really want to go Dallo as well. I just, I don't know. Watching that Galatasaray game again, it's kind of hard to justify going Dallo. Lamptey to Burn, considering price and team performance. I mean, that's a good move, yeah, obviously, because I would much rather have Burn in my team long term than Lamptey, unfortunately. Hi, Fran. Son or Haaland captain? I think I would definitely go Son captain. It's a Haaland away game. There is Haaland in my team. He's right here. You have Mubama. I mean, yes, of course, Mubama saves you 0.2, but it also means that your bench is weaker, right? Because Mubama is probably not going to play football. As in, why not no Haaland? Well, because I just like having Haaland in my team because I can afford him. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no specific reason why I'm doing it. I'm going to lock in my team, guys. I think there's 14 minutes left. I don't want to deal with the website crashing. Deep breath, deep breath. I'm locking in my team. I'm very happy with it, ultimately. A little bit of stress. There was a lot of stress this week, but I think I'm quite happy with it. It's just that last position. Is that last position Colwill? Is that last position Burn? Or is that last position Gabriel? I think I don't want to go Arsenal defense, double Arsenal defense on 11, because that's going to kind of impinge my team. I know Cole has bad fixtures, but I think Cole was always going to be a future transfer for me in Gameweek 15. Maybe it's still Gabriel, though. I don't know. Will Nunez start? I think Nunez will definitely start. There's too many suspensions in the team for him to not start. Like, think about it. Curtis Jones is out. Jota is out. Gakpo's out for this fixture. Ariel or Turner? I would play Turner. Gabriel, you think? Mal, do you want me to go double Arsenal defense, though, in Game Week 10? Gabriel, Zinchenko, Saka? Do you think that's actually... I think leaving up a space in my team for Martinelli is quite nice. You can go Gabriel to Zinchenko later. Yeah, but I actually want to go for Zinchenko in Game Week 10 as well. So that probably means I'm going to be doubling up on Arsenal. Alvarez or Watkins? Hi, Fran. Assuming Diaby is fine, who should I start? Diaby or Bowen? I'd probably actually go... I mean, look, I have to go for Diaby just because he's a bit cheaper. Double Arsenal defense at home is not the play. Yeah. That's so funny how you've said that. That is so funny. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lock in the team. I believe. I think I'm gonna lock in the team like so. I mean, I could also go. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna play. Like, if Gabriel gets benched suddenly, then I'm in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble. Triple United defense is not the play. I mean, who's going triple United defense? Would you take Cole for Estupiñán for a hit to play Kabore? Or play Kabore. Oh, or play Kabore. I think Cole is quite nice. Diaby potentially being out is doing my head in. Yep. I just think I can't risk Diaby fitness, because if I risk Diaby fitness this week, next week they're playing West Ham, which is a bit of a tough game if I'm honest. And then I've got Mbeumo versus Burnley, so why am I being so upset about that? Thoughts on having Reguilon? Reguilon's not worth it, because I think Shaw's around the corner, Malasia's around the corner. Someone has triple captained Mbeumo. Can we be serious? The Tottenham team is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same as last week. Fran, is Saka a sell? For this week, I think so, but it really depends. If you're wildcarding on 10, I think Saka's a sell. If you're not wildcarding, then you shouldn't sell Saka. Excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. You shouldn't sell Saka. So many of you guys in the stream, as I said, more than 300 plus, which is a record for me this season. Thank you guys so much for supporting all the content. Really love all you guys. I've tried my best this year to make as much content as possible on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. And I really thank you guys for all the support. Yeah, and if you guys obviously are around, if you guys like and subscribe on all the videos, comment on them at times. I try to respond to all the comments on all my videos, so really appreciate it. 280k rank, yeah, that's my rank right now. Thank you guys so much. Is Jensen an option? I don't think so. Have you locked your wildcard team? Thank you, Mal. I really appreciate that. Is this your wildcard team? Yeah, this is my wildcard team. I think I'm locking it in, guys. I think I'm locking it in. It do be like that sometimes, right? It do be like that sometimes. Thank you, Adam. Bench 1, Mbumo, Guehi, Burn, Diaby. I'd probably bench Burn, honestly. Burn is away versus West Ham. This is my team. Okay, let's lock in the team. Last second check for Diaby news. Last second check for Diaby news. Let's lock in this bad boy. Oof. Okay, let's go. So, play Trippier over Archer. Bench Archer, first bench. Salah, Capitan. Turner. This is the team. This is the squad. This is La Squadra. I just think if I go Gabriel and suddenly if Partey comes into the team and he just benches Gabriel, I'm going to be crying, like non-stop crying, and I don't want to cry. So, and you don't want to see me cry, right? So let's not cry. So this is my team. Very happy with it. We're locked in. Obviously, I want to go Diaby if I could, but I can't. I just can't. Oh, I could go Diaby. I could go Diaby because I can just play Archer, right? If Diaby doesn't play, I can just go Archer. What do you guys think? Ooh. Brian Mbumo. Yeah, YOLO. Let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. Sorry for swearing, by the way. I don't encourage swearing. I don't condone it. I'm gonna lose money on Mbumo. Fine. All right, let's just go Diaby. Come on. All right, let's go Diaby, gang. Let's do it. This is. We're here. We're here and we're live. Let's go Diaby. You're so offended right now. You said to me earlier that you wouldn't hold Diaby if you had him. Did I say that? But no, I said, what do you mean? Like in terms of holding him for this week? As in, I would probably go. It depends if you have a bench, I suppose. Because I right now I have a bench with Archer, but I think not many people have a strong bench, and it's a risk. I've locked it in. I've already lost the price on Diaby. It is what it is. If Diaby doesn't play, I'll regret it. But I enjoy playing FPL with a bit of risk. I have good bench this week. Diaby hopefully should come back fit. Why not Sun captain? I just think, I don't know. So this is my Thanos draft. What do you guys think? Should we get Lord Thanos over here as well? I hope the draft was what you guys expected. No clickbait. I've got all the players I want. I'm happy with the draft. You know, why not? Lamptey or Pow? I've gone Diaby, guys. Chill. We have Diaby. Diaby has landed in the squad. Keep Saka, go to Diaz. Why I don't... This is my wild card draft. What do you mean why I don't play wild card draft? This is my wild card. The active chip is the wild card. Woo! What a squad. You've gone Trips instead of Alvarez? No, this is not a 4-4-2. This is a 3-5-2. I'm just going Gordon permanently, basically. I'm just gonna quickly tweet my team out, guys. Last time video wildcard draft you gotta play. I mean, I've made a lot of changes in my team, so that's why I've gone with this draft. I'm just gonna quickly tweet the team. You guys have to make your moves, guys. Have to make your moves. Guehi or Mitchell? I'll probably go Guehi. Richarlison over Madison. Obviously, because I need to save money in this team, right? And I want to go Trippier. And I'm going out of Richarlison in 2 weeks anyways. So, yeah. Bench Bowen or Solanke. Start Diaby or Shar. I'd probably start Diaby just to sort of punt on him starting or not. Diaby in for Rashford on a hit. I would not take. No way. I will take Rashford out for a hit. No way. Play Rashford. Bench Diaby and play Shar. I would play Diaby. Can I do burn if because the way I see it is Diaby's probably either going to play or not play. Like if he's not fit for the game, he's probably not going to be risked. Never back the early kickoff. Salah for captain. I'm captaining Salah. I just think Son will not play too many minutes. Why am I playing Diaby? He's a risk, but I think that Archer will cover him on the bench. What's your reasoning for captaining Salah over Son? I just think Salah will play more minutes. I think Son's, he's sort of been managing his minutes. Bowen or Isaac, I would definitely go Bowen. Thoughts on Nketiah this week? Feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game. Charlie. All right, man. All right, bro. You've got me there. I fully read that without actually thinking you'd come in here with the propaganda. Okay, would you start Trent or Bowen? I'd probably start Bowen, honestly. It's not a particularly good fixture for Liverpool. I think they'll lose the clean sheet. This is a very, very competent attacking Brighton team. Dallo or Colwell? I'd probably start Dallo. Can I do... Actually, I'd probably start Colwell. Start Sterling or Archer? I'd probably start Sterling. Do I support Man United? I don't support any Premier League team. I support Real Madrid. I'm pretty unbiased when it comes to Premier League. Can I do Burn if I can't afford Trippier? You could do that. Burn or Anderson to start? I would probably go Anderson 100%. I would bench the Newcastle defender this week. Son captain. I'm going to go Salah captain. Yeah. Start Burn or Guehi. Fran loves United, you know it. Start Burn. I would start Guehi 100%. Why Diaby in? I just think that by game week 10 when he faces Luton, I want to have him. Nice one, Henry. Actually, I'm gonna make you a mod as well, Henry. Can I do that? A standard moderator. I don't know why I can't update people as moderators. This is so weird. I'll probably try to do that next stream for both you and Chisel Planet, so you guys are around so much. You don't have enough money for Diaby, so you went Palmer. I don't think that's a great idea. I'm sorry about that. You reckon Saka or Wilson start? I can't confirm that. Yeah. I captained Mitchell. Mitchell? Why? Well, Mitchell from Crystal Palace. Prashan, what do you mean? Like you've copied my draft? I'm confused. Lyle Foster, I think Lyle Foster is a very good player, but also can you afford the depth? I can't afford the depth. Sam, you captain Mitch. Why? Why have you captain Mitchell? You've kept Saka and Wilson, so need something from them. All right, best of luck. You're playing Solanke, watch him make a hat trick. Okay, I will be watching for sure. You captain Darwin. Okay, good luck with that. That's actually really, I quite like that captaincy. Good luck with that one. You went with Foster as you had the cash. That's fun. Is it fun watching Burnley? I actually think, what's his name? Kelly Osho is like really, really interesting. You took a punt in Captain Son. I don't think Son's actually a punt this week. I think he's really popular. How do you actually think Shaw / Malacia will be out for? I think Malacia is actually close. Shaw's a little bit further away, is what I've heard. And yeah, That's it, guys. Pens down. Pens absolutely down. Please, yeah, I want a green arrow this week. Please, if anyone is out there, can you send me a green arrow? I need it desperately. Koleosho, sorry, yeah, they've been missing their striker. Yeah, fair points. Amdouni obviously wasn't good enough, I suppose, until Foster came back. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with the draft. I had everyone I wanted. I had Watkins, Salah, Son, Holland, and Trippier. Right? Isn't this what we wanted? Salah captain as well. Maybe a little bit differential. Pens down, giving you PTSD. It's not an exam. It's not an exam. Road to 100k subs. That's the goal. Thank you guys so much for being around. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. I hope your wild cards are all successful. I hope our wild cards don't have like 5 injuries by game week 10. And I hope you guys have a wonderful time. And I'll see you guys very, very shortly. So take care. If you kept Alvarez, good on you. You're a better man than myself. And yeah, take care, guys. I will see you guys next week, or maybe in the review corner, obviously, very, very shortly. So yeah, take care. See you guys on Twitter, where I'll be live reacting to how bad my team is. Hopefully Diaby plays. Sending a prayer out to him. He's been in training. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. You missed time. Set an alarm for yourself in the future so it doesn't happen. The next stream, what happened to Nketiah? That form's just gone out the window, hasn't it? So it is what it is. All right. Take care, guys. I will see you guys soon. And much love to you all. That's it.